We just heard you say on the broadcast with the rights holders analyzing the match that the first 10 minutes and two individual errors obviously made things very difficult against a team as well-oiled as Paris Saint-Germain. But after those first 10 minutes, did you expect more from the team? One thing is not being able to turn the game around, but it's another to at least show more.
Well, it was obviously a difficult situation after those first 10 minutes. PSG is also a project, a team that's been built with time. We're still practically just getting started. And just because you want to go out braver doesn't mean it will work out better. You have to know how to manage those moments. It wasn't easy because after two heavy blows, you're suddenly down 2-0 and not finding your place on the field. The feeling wasn't good and we needed to calm down a bit. The pity for me was conceding the third goal before halftime. At 2-0, you're still a bit closer in the match. But we faced a team that's in great form. Just like others have suffered against them, today it was our turn. They're at a very good level, and we have to acknowledge that this is the beginning of a new phase for us. There's a lot of room for improvement, many things we want to do better, and today hurts. We have to be self-critical. Our level today wasn't good enough, but this will also teach us things for the future, how we want to develop, how we want to approach things, so we can compete at a much higher level than what we showed today.
If you think that conceding 2 goals so early, by the 8th minute, makes it impossible to fully analyze the game and what you are proposing, playing, for example, with 3 forwards, and whether you think this 4-goal gap reflects the real difference right now between Real Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain.
Obviously, it has a big impact. We wanted to play a well-structured match, knowing the kind of opponent we had and that we needed to stay in the game. But after the 10th minute, you're already approaching things differently. But as I said before, more than about the gap, it's about the room we have to grow. I think today's match marks the end of this season, not the beginning of the next one. We'll take lessons from this match for the future. We'll also take positive things from this Club World Cup period. I think there has been progress. Regardless of today, we leave as a better team, even though that's hard to explain right now. But I'm convinced this will serve as a starting point to begin next season better.
A couple of seasons ago, Madrid lost 7-3 here to Atletico de Madrid and ended up winning the double. Looking toward the future, are you leaving with more certainty about the good things or about what must not happen again?
A bit of everything. I'm leaving with certainties. This match, this tournament told me a lot about who we are, what we need to improve, and also the positive things I've seen in the players and in general. It gave me a lot of clarity. I now have a clear picture going into next season, which will be different due to the players will recover and the changes that will come. Like I said, this was the last match of the 2024-25 season. And in August, we'll start 2025-26, which will be a bit different. And yes, I leave with clear certainties.
Luka Modrić. Today was his farewell from Real Madrid. You were his teammate and now his coach. Maybe it wasn't the farewell he hoped for, but a chapter closes. What can you say about him?
For sure, this wasn't the ending he would have wanted. It's a bit of a bitter ending. But Luka won't be remembered for today's match. He'll be remembered for countless other great performances. He's a legend of world football and of Real Madrid. We've had the pleasure and the honor of sharing the field with him, and now from the sidelines. He'll be remembered for many great things, not for the 25 minutes he played today.
You talk about room for improvement. I wanted to ask, this was the first match that Vinicius and Mbappé started together. From your perspective, how much potential does this partnership have looking ahead?
I'm not talking about individuals, whether defenders, midfielders, or forwards. I'm talking about the team as a whole and how we want to play. Today, in certain moments, we have some shortcomings. And sometimes it's good to see those errors so they can serve us in the future. If we keep repeating the same mistake over and over, we won't be smart.
Perhaps many Madrid fans are wondering why you made so many tactical changes compared to what we saw this season under Ancelotti. especially during these 5 or 6 matches in the Club World Cup. But today, even after going down 2-0, you stuck to your idea despite the result, and your first changes came only in the 65th minute, something you hadn't done before in this tournament. Why did you do that?
Because I believed that the moment required a bit of patience. In the second half, we managed to stretch them a bit. We also switched slightly from a 4-3-3 to a 4-4-2 in pressing. There was indeed a change with Gonzalo slightly positioned to the left because we weren't managing to apply pressure properly. So there was an adjustment. Maybe it wasn't noticeable, but it happened. Today, every decision will be analyzed through a different lens, and I will do that as well. I'm self-critical about what I decided and where I might have gone wrong. This is a collective effort. We're all in this together, and like I said, now we'll have some time, but we shouldn't let this ending weigh too heavily on the start of next season. I believe we're going to restart completely from scratch. The beginning of 2025-26 will start at 0, not from 95 or 98 where we finished today.
I wanted to ask about Rodrygo. Even at 4-0, he didn't come on. Does that mean anything for the future, or was it just due to the circumstances of this match?
No, it was a match decision. Today, the way things were going, we needed a different profile of player. And right now, throughout this entire tournament, no decisions were made with the future in mind. We were simply playing a World Cup. Even in terms of rotation, we didn't rotate much. So the context we'll begin with will be somewhat different.
The team was eliminated due to defensive errors, coach. But don't you think you also made a mistake by placing too many players in attack? Maybe playing a bit more defensively would have been better, considering the opponent. And I won't use the word failure, because I know it's very harsh. But would you consider this your first stumble as Real Madrid manager?
No doubt this wasn't what we expected. It's the first loss. But the bad news is, it won't be the last. We're going to lose more games. We also need to win many more. But anyone who thinks they'll never lose is just fooling themselves. This is what happens. We have to accept it. Tomorrow we'll start another phase with a bit more rest, some mental recovery, which I think we all need. And hopefully it gives us the right impact so that we can start the new season well. We shouldn't forget today's match, but we also shouldn't let it drag us down too much.
At the beginning of this new phase, if you had to choose one thing you saw in the group this week that you'll use to start building, what would it be? And in general, what are your thoughts on this new Club World Cup format?
Well, we want to build a team that plays as one unit, that plays together where everyone is involved and has that shared feeling and spirit. As for the Club World Cup, it's been very, very interesting and very demanding. This is as far as we've made it. We fell short at the penultimate stop. It hurts, but now we'll see what comes next.
Where do you see PSG as most unreachable for the rest of the teams right now? Because only Bayern seemed able to challenge them for possession and press effectively. Other teams didn't do much, but Botafogo.
They're at a great level, right? They showed it during the Champions League knockout stages, and they've shown it here in the Club World Cup. Today, well, we have to accept they're in a very good moment, and we on our side are just starting this new phase. That's what I take away, the information, everything this tournament has taught me, and where we want to go from here. Now, we'll need some time to reset, to take a good break, and next season we'll start from scratch in different competitions.
Among the certainties you're taking away, does that also include the need for signings? To ask you directly, are you going to request signings?
Well, I think that during the tournament we didn't really talk much about squad composition. But from now on, of course, we're always open to improving. I can't give you specifics right now, but yes, we're always working with the idea of improving, and there is definitely room to do so.